Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins.
Here.
Trustee Canada.
Here.
Trustee Jenkins.
Here.
Trustee Knight.
Here.
Trustee May.
Here.
Trustee Mealer.
Here.
Trustee O'Malley.
Here.
Trustee McInnes is absent. Trustee Rowe.
Here.
Trustee Simler.
Here.
9 members present.
We have a quorum, and I call the meeting to order. Please note that there are items on your agenda that need to be adopted. Before I call for a vote, are there any items that you wish to be extracted from the consent agenda? Hearing none. Excuse me. Hearing none, I move for adoption of the agenda, including the consent agenda items. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. The agenda is adopted. The minutes for the December 8th, 2023 board meeting were circulated in advance. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, I make a motion to approve the minutes as written. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. In accordance with Tennessee law, if there had been a request from the public to address the board, it would occur at this point in the meeting. However, the board did not receive any requests, so we'll move on to the next agenda item. At this time, I recognize President Licari, who will introduce today's campus spotlight.
Thank you, Chair Jenkins. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Alexandra Wills. Alexandra is the Director for Community Engagement and Sustainability here at Austin Peay. She holds a bachelor's degree from Elon and a master's degree from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. She's been at Austin Peay for 15 years and developed both the community engagement program and the food pantry here. So we're very proud of the work that she's done. She has two strong-willed children, 4 chickens, and a border collie, and I'm not sure which is more of a handful. Okay. Anyway, it is my pleasure to turn it over to Alexandra.
Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be here today to share the great work happening in our campus spotlight. Community engagement and sustainability is one of those areas working tirelessly behind the scenes to support, educate, and provide meaningful experiences for our campus community. Our student employees say they love coming to work to find out what in the world they'll be doing next for our office. And one thing is for sure is that we couldn't do it without them. And there are some of their smiling faces, and we're very grateful for them. We have 3 focus areas: sustainability with Kayla Miller-Zapata, community engagement with Megan Potts, and basic needs with myself and AmeriCorps Vista member Morgan Faulkner. Well, let's start off with basic needs. We strive to provide the encouragement, financial resources, and access to food to our student population when life gets extra hard. Across the country, colleges are reporting that on average, almost half of students have experienced some level of food insecurity during their time in college. This could be a small blip from their normal lives or a longer-term experience lasting weeks or months when they're not sure where their next meal would be coming from. Our students report a similar experience of food insecurity. We work to provide support in a variety of ways. Access to an on-campus food pantry once a week that supports not only the students, but members of their family who rely on them. On average, 70 students and families access the pantry each week, some visiting weekly to supplement their grocery bills or even relying entirely on the pantry for food. Students can access frozen meat, refrigerated items like milk and eggs, non-perishable items like canned soups and cereal, cleaning supplies, and personal hygiene items. We also provide business and business casual clothing, plus winter weather gear that is available to students in collaboration with our local organization, Bella's Closet. Students may not have access to a kitchen or food storage, so in collaboration with our dining partner, we are able to provide a limited number of free access to our campus cafeteria by request from students facing food insecurities. This program provided emergency meals for 319 students this academic year so far. In addition to food assistance, we also help when unexpected financial emergencies pop up through our Emergency Funds program. Students facing financial emergencies related to housing needs, transportation, childcare, medical bills, or natural disasters can receive a gift of up to $400 from a donor-supported fund. These funds are on a one-time basis and are utilized around $6,000 a semester. During the December 2023 tornado outbreak in Clarksville, these emergency funds supported faculty, staff, and students who were directly impacted by tornado damage. In response to the tornado, our office reached out to students affected to determine any resources that we could provide them with, be it financial, temporary housing on campus, or just letting them know that we're there for them. During the recovery time, $16,000 worth of emergency funds were distributed to those impacted. Transitioning from basic needs to sustainability, our efforts aim to instill a campus culture that is intentionally reducing our impact on the planet for those who come after us. Kayla and her team coordinate the recycle efforts on campus year-round, with special peak times during student move-in, football games, campus shred day, and recycling books. This football season, the green team collected 335 pounds of aluminum and plastic from game days. Campus compost is another one of those areas where we work to reduce our landfill contributions by collecting coffee grounds and some food waste to our earth tub composters. We are very grateful for our student employees with some of these tasks. Our outdoor education center, established on campus with the grant from the Bureau of Land Management, contains an outdoor classroom with free workshops and events for the community on environmental topics. This past year, we've had 500 participants in these opportunities. Reducing plastic consumption on campus is a long-term goal that sustainability is working toward by reducing the need for single-use plastic water bottles at events on campus. Our Fill It Yourself event water stations are provided to department programs in lieu of purchasing and giving out single-use bottles of water. Our freshman class receive reusable water bottles during convocation to support refilling and reusing while on the go. This fall, we provided 810 gallons of water for campus programs and events. Another time, we were very happy to have our student employees helping us with this. Switching gears from environmental impact to community support, our community engagement area is focused on building connections and sharing resources to improve the quality of life in Clarksville. Megan facilitates a residential living community that hosts 15 freshmen each year in weekly programming and family-style dinners to learn about the United Nations global goals and how communities can improve. Our student trip leaders and Megan plan alternative break service trips when classes are not in session, taking groups of students across the country to volunteer with nonprofits and learn about how community issues that we all share. Students gain experience out of their comfort zone while exploring new places. Campus-wide service opportunities that engage students, faculty, and staff are some of our favorite components of the job. When students get to volunteer alongside their professors or see administration rolling up their sleeves and sorting food donations, it shares the message that we are all in this together and that APSU is a caring community that shows up for each other. On the first Tuesday of the month, we facilitate campus-wide volunteer opportunities with our Volunteer Tuesday program. Each spring, we gather together and volunteer for Plant the Campus Red, a 25-year-long campus tradition. And this year, we supported a new initiative, People in the Community, a one-day intensive volunteer effort that engaged 650 students, faculty, and staff with 20 community agencies on a beautiful fall day during homecoming. Over 1,200 hours of community service were completed by our campus community. We're going to continue this program this fall. Our team does great work, but we don't do it in a vacuum. In order to meet the basic needs of students, promote community engagement, and do work to make our campus culture more sustainably minded, we work directly with just about every person on this campus. I wanted to share with the board the level of care and concern that employees of APSU have for students who are facing hardships. It is tremendous, and it makes me incredibly proud to be a Gov. Professors, advisors, coaches, dining staff, housing, the bursar's office, the list goes on of the folks who are reaching out to help and support our students facing barriers. Our upcoming renovation plans to support these efforts put APSU's understanding of the student experience up front and center on College Street to highlight the resources a caring campus provides. And with the bing, that concludes my presentation. Any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Wells?
Do great work, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. You do a great job of connecting Austin Peay with the community and serving our local needs and just furthering the bond between Austin Peay and our community. And we thank you very much for your efforts. Any additional discussion? Thank you. I recognize Trustee May, Chair of the Academic Affairs Committee, to give us a report of the committee meeting.
Thank you, Chairman Jenkins. Thank you for the opportunity to present my report from this morning's Academic Affairs Committee meeting. The committee approved minutes from the Academic Affairs Committee meeting on December 8, 2023. The committee reviewed and approved the following action items, which are on the agenda for your approval today: consideration of tenure appointments, termination of the Master of Science in Management program, termination of the Biometrics and Clinical Trials Operations Certificate program, and termination of the Project Management Certificate program. Provost Cronley presented one information item regarding the SAC COC on-site reaffirmation committee visit on April the 8th through the 11th of 2024. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee May. Trustees May report included 4 items requiring action of the board. Trustee May, do you have a motion on tenure appointments?
Yes, you have before you a proposal to approve tenure for the list of faculty recommended here. By direction of the committee, I move to approve tenure for those faculty members.
You have heard the motion to approve the list of faculty recommended for tenure. Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. Trustee May, do you have a motion for action on the termination of the Master of Science in Management program?
I do. You have before you a proposal to terminate the Master of Science in Management program. By direction of the committee, I move to approve this program termination.
You've heard the motion to approve the termination of the Master of Science in Management program. Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Trustee May, do you have a motion for the action on the termination of the Biometrics and Clinical Trials Operations Certificate program?
Yes, you have before you a proposal to terminate the Biometrics and Clinical Trials Operations Certificate program. By direction of the committee, I move to approve this program termination.
You've heard the motion to approve the termination of the Biometrics and Clinical Trials Operations Certificate program. Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. All right, Trustee May, this is your last shot.
You have before you a proposal to terminate the Project Management Certificate program. By direction of the committee, I move to approve this program termination.
You've heard the motion to approve the termination of the Project Management Certificate program. This is a motion of the committee. A second is not required. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I recognize Trustee Miller, Chair of the Audit Committee, to give us a report of the committee meeting.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my report from today's Audit Committee meeting. The committee approved the minutes from the December 8th, 2023 Audit Committee meeting and Audit Committee executive session. The committee reviewed and approved one action item, which you approved today by consent, revisions to Policy 1001, Conflict of Interest. The committee also reviewed and approved one additional action item, the fiscal year 2024 revised audit plan. The committee heard presentations on the following information items. A, review of recent audits and review performed by the State Comptroller's Office. B, review of internal audit related documents. C, review of internal audit reports released between November 10th, 2023 and February 29th, 2024, with a list of outstanding audit recommendations. And D, results of internal audit client satisfaction survey for calendar year 2023. This concludes my report of the audit committee meeting.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. I recognize Trustee Kanata, Chair of the Business and Finance Committee, to give us a report of the committee meeting.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my report from this morning's Business and Finance Committee meeting. The committee met and approved the minutes from the December 8th, 2023 committee meeting. The committee considered and approved one action item which you approved today by consent. It was the contract between Austin Peay State University and the Austin Peay University Foundation. The committee considered and approved two action items needing consideration of the board. Those were the non-mandatory fees for the 24-25 academic year and the housing rates for the 24-25 academic year. Vice President Rupivar also provided informational updates on two items. The first was the governor's budget recommendations and the fiscal year 22-23 financial report. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Kanata. Trustee Kanata's report included two items requiring action of the board. Do you have a motion for the action on the non-mandatory fees for the 2024-2025 academic year?
Yes, I do. You have before you information on the non-mandatory fees for the 24-25 academic year. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the non-mandatory fees for the 24-25 academic year.
Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, this item requires a roll call vote. Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins?
Yes.
Trustee Kanata?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins?
Yes.
Trustee May?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee O'Malley?
Yes.
Trustee Rowe?
Yes.
Trustee Simler?
Yes.
The motion carries. Trustee Kanata, do you have a motion for the action on the housing rates for the 2024-2025 academic year?
Yes, I do. You have before you information on housing rates for the 24-25 academic year. By direction of the committee, I move to approve the housing rates for the 24-25 academic year.
Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, this item requires a roll call vote. Secretary, please call the roll.
Trustee Atkins?
Yes.
Trustee Kanata?
Yes.
Trustee Jenkins?
Yes.
Trustee May?
Yes.
Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Trustee O'Malley?
Yes.
Trustee Rowe?
Yes.
Trustee Simler?
Yes.
The motion carries. The next agenda item is Executive Committee report. Before we hear the report of the Executive Committee, President Licari has asked to step out of the meeting. I'm pleased to present the report from this morning's Executive Committee meeting. The committee approved the minutes from the December 8th, 2023 Executive Committee meeting. The committee reviewed and took action on 4 items which are on the agenda for your approval today. The first action item is the consideration of an addendum to the President's employment agreement. By direction of the Executive Committee, I move that we approve the addendum as written. This is a motion of the committee. A second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The second action item is consideration of the President's performance evaluation and incentive for fiscal year 2024. Information related to the President's performance evaluation was provided to you in advance of this meeting. During the Executive Committee meeting, an overview of the President's performance evaluation was presented, and a recommendation made that President Licari qualifies for an incentive for fiscal year 2023-2024. By direction of the Executive Committee, I move that the Board award a 10% incentive in the amount of $38,500 to President Licari for fiscal year 2023-2024. Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The motion carries. The next item is consideration of the President's base compensation for fiscal year 2024-2025. By direction of the Executive Committee, I move that President Licari's base salary be set at $400,000 for fiscal year 2024-2025 based upon his positive performance evaluation and in order to keep the President's salary commensurate with other Tennessee LGI presidents. This is a motion of the committee. A second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries. By direction of the Executive Committee, I move that we adopt the same evaluation criteria and instrument for 2024-2025 that were used in 2023-2024. Excuse me. This is a motion of the committee. A second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The motion carries. That concludes my report of the Executive Committee meeting. Excuse me. Yes. I'm proud to say that you have job security through topping off of the building at 2 o'clock.
Fantastic.
For 12 months.
For 12 minutes.
I recognize Trustee May, member of the Student Affairs Committee, to give us a report of the committee meeting.
Thank you for the opportunity to present my report from this morning's Student Affairs Committee meeting. The committee met and approved the minutes from the December 8th, 2023 committee meeting. The committee also considered the following action item, which will be presented to you for action in today's meeting. Recommendation for student trustee, Dr. Clemens presented the following information items: Student Affairs Strategic Plan and Community Engagement and Sustainability Center renovations. That concludes my report.
Trustee May's report contained an action item that we need to consider as a full board. Trustee May, do you have a motion on the student trustee appointment recommendation?
Yes, information regarding the student who was recommended by President Licari to serve as our next student trustee was provided to you in advance of this meeting. The Student Affairs Committee concurs with the President's recommendation that Campbell Moore serve in this position. By direction of the committee, I move that we appoint Campbell Moore to serve as our next student trustee, beginning on May 4th, 2024, and running through 2024-25 academic year.
You've heard the motion to appoint Campbell Moore as the next student trustee. Since this is a motion of the committee, a second is not required. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The final action item is the calendar of meeting dates for 2025. As a reminder, the Focus Act requires the board to have 4 regularly scheduled meetings per year. The following dates are proposed: April 4th, 2025, June 6th, June 6, 2025, September 12th, 2025, September 5th, 2025. I move that we accept the proposed meeting calendar for 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the proposed meeting calendar for 2025, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the motion carries. That concludes our action items. We'll move into information items. The first information item is a quality enhancement plan presentation. I recognize Provost Cronley to provide more information.
Thank you, Chair Jenkins. And it is my pleasure to hand this conversation over to Amanda Warnoff. Amanda Warnoff is our Assistant Provost for Institutional Effectiveness, Assessment, and Research. And she was recently promoted into that position. And so she is going to share with you today some information about our Quality Enhancement Plan, which goes in lockstep and in coordination with our upcoming SAC-COC reaffirmation visit. So I'm going to hand it to Amanda.
Thank you. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm here to talk to you today about Austin Peay's Next Quality Enhancement Plan, or QEP. SAC-COC requires all institutions to propose a Quality Enhancement Plan, or QEP, as part of the decennial reaffirmation process. As you know, Austin Peay is going through its 10-year reaffirmation process this year. APSU's proposed QEP will be evaluated during the SAC-COC site visit in early April. We recently submitted a written proposal for Austin Peay's next QEP project, which I am here to introduce to you in this presentation. The QEP is a 5-year project focusing on a topic selected by the institution and approved by SAC-COC. Institutions must propose a topic for the QEP that aims to improve a specific aspect of student learning over the course of the 5-year project. The topic must be identified through the institution's ongoing planning and evaluation processes, and the topic must have support from a broad base of institutional constituencies, namely faculty and staff. As part of the SAC-COC standard for the QEP, institutions are required to commit sufficient resources for the QEP over the 5 years and to conduct ongoing assessment of the QEP's stated objectives. Next. Austin Peay's proposed QEP is titled Peay Composed and is focused on improving students' written communication skills. The name Peay Composed was selected from a student naming contest for Austin Peay's next QEP. A committee of faculty and staff worked to identify and develop the next QEP by reviewing proposals for the next QEP topic from colleagues, analyzing institutional data on student learning, and gathering perspectives of faculty and staff in surveys and focus groups. General education assessment data in particular pointed to potential challenges with students' written communication skills. In addition, faculty and student surveys revealed that while students were fairly confident in their writing ability, faculty perceptions of writing skills were slightly less positive. APSU faculty report that students do not often have the writing skills they need to succeed in their courses. In addition, national data on the career readiness of college graduates shows that employers consistently identify written communication as an important skill for professional success, but that graduates sometimes lack the level of communication skills needed in the workplace. Accordingly, the committee identified written communication as the topic for Austin Peay's next QEP. So Peay Composed will focus on 3 main components over the 5 years of the project to improve students' written communication skills. The first is the faculty communities of practice, which are semester-long faculty development communities that equip faculty to embed evidence-based best practices into the courses they teach to improve student writing skills. Faculty will focus on integrating existing student support services into their course, such as the Writing Center or the library, and each semester selected faculty will participate in the community of practice, led by the QEP director and faculty partners, where the faculty participants will develop an action plan for their course that they will implement in a future semester. The second component, and the centerpiece of the QEP, is the Peay Composed courses. A Peay Composed course is a course that a faculty member has worked on during the faculty community of practice. Peay Composed courses will incorporate best practices to support improvement in student writing skills and will also integrate student support resources such as the Writing Center or library. Integrating student support into the Peay Composed courses aims to better align the support services with course content and most importantly, to normalize help-seeking behavior. Students are sometimes hesitant to seek help with their writing because it carries a stigma as a remedial practice. P-Compose aims to reframe help-seeking as simply an academic habit that all of us scholars engage in on a regular basis. Lastly, P-Compose will include several institutional initiatives to celebrate successful student writing, connect students with support resources in a variety of venues through drop-in events, and perhaps offer an annual writing award or a notation on a student's transcript to indicate a writing endorsement after completing a certain number of P-Compose courses or submitting a portfolio of their work for faculty review. So what are our next steps with the QEP? The primary one is that the QEP will be a major focus of the SAC-COC site visit, April 8th through 11th, when the reviewers visit us on campus. There is a 30-minute formal presentation of the QEP proposal scheduled for April 9th, and the on-site review committee will identify folks that they want to interview more about the QEP following that presentation, likely on April 10th. One of the reasons we're here today is to be sure you are aware of the QEP and our proposed topic in advance of the site visit in April. SAC-COC reviewers may have feedback on our proposed QEP during the site visit that could require some revisions to our plan. And then APSU will implement that QEP for the next 5 years, beginning in earnest in fall 2024. In 2030, at the end of the 5-year project, we are required to submit a comprehensive impact report to SAC-COC that details our assessment results and the outcomes of the QEP at Austin Peay. Thank you.
Are there any comments or questions about the quality enhancement plan?
Just a question, have other schools done a similar, on writing communication? Is this a topic that's popular across the country, or?
Yes, it is one of, there's many different topics, as you might imagine, based on institutional mission and location and all of that. But there have been writing-focused QEPs, and actually, SAC-COC permits us to hire an external consultant to help us develop the QEP, and the consultant that we have been working with throughout this process, she formally led and developed a very successful writing-focused QEP.
Awesome, thank you.
And assuming the QEP works the way you would anticipate it work, would that be a program that is not just a 5-year program, but it would continue on and you'd look for something different?
Yes, while sort of the SAC's frame is that 5 years, the idea and the spirit behind all of this is that that practice becomes institutionalized in whatever way you see fit.
Good.
Any further questions or comments? Thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
At this time, I recognize President Licari to give his report and to also report on any interim items.
Thank you, Chair Jenkins. First, before I get into really the meat of my remarks, I want to say congratulations and thank you to our student trustee, Jacob Knight. This is his last meeting. It's been great having you on the board, along with your continued service on THEC. You're a very busy young man. So thank you for your work and your dedication to the university and your fellow students. So I just want to give you a round of applause here. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to having Campbell Moore as our new student trustee. I've watched her work in a variety of capacities on campus over the last few years, and I've been deeply impressed, and I know she'll be a great addition to the board. We've certainly had a great spring so far. I'm very proud and appreciative of the work done by my leadership team and really the whole of campus. Congratulations to all of the faculty who were approved for tenure this morning. That is a big career milestone for them, so we're deeply proud of their work. We certainly had a great basketball season. For the men, it's the first time back in the conference championship game since 2016. Returned the energy and attention to our programs. The inaugural season of the F&M Bank Arena, I think, was a big success. We had good crowds, a 400% increase in season ticket sales, and very, very happy with how that went. The women's teams back-to-back appearances in the semifinals in the conference tournament, and so they continue to make noise. So congratulations to our men's and women's basketball teams on their seasons. You know, the priorities that we had for the year that I laid out last summer remain: campus vitality, community engagement, enrollment and retention, and laying the groundwork for the next comprehensive campaign while leveraging athletics for all of this. This all remains, and we're making great progress. This spring, for the first time, we held welcome home events for students as the semester started, so that the excitement of campus life this past fall picked up where we left off when students came back from break. And I hope you noticed the hammocks are back out around campus. Students really enjoy those. I love it that they feel comfortable dragging them around to create little circles of friends and things like that. It's fantastic. This spring has also seen the successful launch of our club hockey team. They've already played 2 away games. One of our student athletes has already notched a hat trick. Tickets are sold out for our first 2 home games that are coming up in 2 weeks, and so Dr. Clemens is certainly off and running with the new Student Affairs strategic plan. Very proud of the work there. And our connections with the community are strong and growing. The leadership exchange, corporate connections, local development conversations, the People in the Community Day of Service that you heard Alexandra Wills mention before, are all great new examples of what this university can do to deepen our connection with Clarksville, Montgomery County and the surrounding areas. And it cements the fact that we have a very symbiotic relationship. When the community wins, we win, and when we win, the community wins. And so we're very intent on making sure that we're welcoming folks to campus just as much as we're going out into the community. Our military connections are strong and growing, and one new emerging relationship that we have that is gotten off to a great start is with the Tennessee National Guard. So very, very proud of our newest division on campus, the Military and Veterans Affairs Division. They are only 9 months old or so, and they're knocking it out of the park. Enrollment continues to look good, with a great opportunity to grow and build on the large freshman class that we had this year. Admitted students for fall, we're running a little bit more than 6% ahead of where we were at this point last year. So freshman classes shaping up nicely. We're about 2 percentage points up in fall to spring retention of the freshman class, and as a leading indicator for first year retention, that looks good. Returning students are seeking to live on campus. I remarked earlier in the meeting that we're already at about 75% occupancy in the residence halls, and that's predominantly with returning students as they find value and excitement in living in our residence halls. And regarding the next campaign, the recent Govs Give is a great example of generating excitement and building the number of donors to the university. We set a record for the number of gifts on that day, up 38% from last year. We set a record for the number of donors, up 51% compared to last year, and we raised 35% more money this year than we did last year. So it was a tremendous success. So congratulations to Chris and everybody in the Alumni Engagement and Philanthropy Division. Thank you to all of the ambassadors that helped us with that day, and thank you to everybody who participated and made gifts that day. There was a great way to very quickly engage a lot of people and make the university better. And along in all of these areas, athletics has been a great partner. We continue to work on getting students to games, providing shuttles from the residence halls from certain basketball games, for example. Athletics continues to be a great partner in recruiting new students as they link games with preview days and orientation days and things like that. Gerald and I recently met with the folks from 5 Star Media and had a great conversation about how we can continue to generate buzz in the community around our games. So they've been a fantastic partner, and that's what you want with a successful athletics program. finally, thank you to the board for your continued support. Your support and backing makes it a lot easier for me to focus on the things that I need to focus on, and make sure that everybody on the leadership team, on the senior leadership team, can focus on what they need to focus on. So I deeply appreciate your support. At the end, your packet includes a list of contracts and agreements that have been executed, as well as State Building Commission actions that have occurred since our last board meeting. So thank you again, and that concludes my remarks, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any comments or questions before we adjourn? As you know, this is Trustee Jacob Knight's last board meeting. Jacob will be graduating in May with a Master of Science in Management. Jacob, I want to take a moment to express our deep appreciation for your contributions to this board and to Austin Peay University. During this time, you have brought insight, wisdom, and an invaluable perspective to our decisions. Your commitment's been an inspiration to us, and we will miss your presence at our meetings. Please know that the impact of your work will continue even after you have left. Your dedication to the success of Austin Peay has made a real difference in the life of countless students, and for that, we're very grateful. Thank you again for your service to Austin Peay and the entire university community. We wish you all the best for a bright future.
Thank you, Chair Jenkins. It's been an honor, and thank you all for being so welcoming and giving me this opportunity. So.
Also like to take this opportunity to welcome back Joe Mills. He had a little injury along the way, and just a tiny injury. Anybody needs any roof work done, there's your man.
No.
Welcome back your band from any roofs from now on. I'd like to also thank Gerald Harrison for renewing his contract and congratulate him for continuing to inspire success of all of our athletic teams. And I'd like to thank Carol Clark for keeping us board members so organized. There's not anything that we think about that she hasn't already anticipated. And she doesn't even spank us, and I like that. Though some of us should probably enjoy it.
That's enough, Don.
Thank you, Mike. And last of all, I'd like to congratulate Mike Licari on the phenomenal differences he's made in Austin Peay University. We've got athletics as the front porch of our university. We're attracting more students. We're having athletic success. We're having academic success. We've never had a president that's worked as hard as Mike Licari is. When we had to replace Elisa White, you know, we thought, wow, what huge shoes that we've got to fill. And Mike has come along, and he's got a part-time job cheerleading at all the sporting events now, running up and down the sidelines. He did have an injection from Scotty Walden, and that's helped him to get run up and down. But that being said, his work ethic for fundraising and traveling all over the United States and fundraising, his connection with the alumni of Austin Peay, his connection with each and every one of us. Let's give Mike a hand. Great job.
Thank you. You know, the administration of a university, of course, is a team effort, and I have a fantastic senior leadership team. Everybody around the table is you know, not afraid to bring ideas and talk them out. We don't necessarily all agree on things, but we have a great conversation, come to a conclusion, and then you know, make it happen. So I can't be more proud of the folks that are around me, because together we're all making these positive results for the university happen. So kudos to everybody surrounding me and on campus.
Thank you, President Licari. As a reminder, our next scheduled meeting will take place on June 7th, 2024. I move that the meeting adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Hooah.
Good meeting.
Nice job.